Hello again, welcome to the Real World Prepper. I'm going to show you a few things with my stockroom, but first we got to see how many preppers it takes to change a light bulb. New. So apparently it only takes one prepper to change a light bulb. Okie dokie, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to take this jumbled mess, and I say jumbled mess, it's not in terrible shape, but it does need to be rotated and a little bit more organization put to it. So let me tell you the plan. I have stated many times over many videos, many of the earlier ones anyway, that canned goods, I believe that many of them are still fine after the best buy date. Because just as it says, it's a best buy date, meaning this product is best by this date, it loses some of its flavor or nutrients or quality in some regard after that date as it goes on. It doesn't say it's expired, it's done, it's dead. However, in some cases, that will be the reality. That after the date, it won't be any good. I'll give you an example. We opened some old tuna. When I say old, it was about 3 years past its best by date. And the tuna was still fine, but it had taken on the tin can taste. So, not something you want to eat. And of course, I'm aware with canned goods and things that, you know, if you've got swelling in the cans, if there's any rust or dents or anything like that, you know, if anything seems off, or when you open it, if it hisses, or obviously has a pungent smell, or you can see anything that doesn't belong, that kind of thing, you avoid it. So, ideally, I want to be eating foods that are not going to be harmful to me and foods that taste pretty good as we eat this stuff. And we eat this stuff. We wrote, you know, this is stuff we use. Of course, there's a whole lot more of it than what we use on a regular basis, and that's preparations. That's there for backup. That's why that's here. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to go through and organize and pull all the stuff that's beyond the date, and then I'm going to rotate. I don't know why that word is escaping me, but I'm going to rotate the past date stuff into newest to oldest, even by its old dates, and I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. So with that, I'll tell you a good idea I think you can do with things like that rather than toss them, throw them out, and that kind of thing. So stick around and we'll talk about it. Alright, still working through this. Let me show you. Hopefully this won't make a whole bunch of racket. I'm going to pick this up, but so right here, this is all rotated and purged. If you'll disregard the stuff in the front, the stuff in the back has been the same. Going through this one now. Look here, so far, this pal right here is out of date or in a condition in which I'm not comfortable with. And I will get into what I think is a good plan for this stuff right here. Well, still working on this, and let me show you something. So there was my first stack of expendables, as it were, and here we're working on more. So that's a pretty good bit of various canned things. Obviously these are things that I will replenish. But again, I got a plan for this stuff. I'm going to tell you, I promise. I promise I'm going to tell you. So let me continue. I'll show you the finished product when I get done with everything as it's organized, and I'll explain what I've done, and I'll tell you what we're doing with this stuff. Good ideas. Okay, this is the final result of everything that was past date. Now, what I intend to do is go back through, and it was even if it was past date by a month. So now I'm going to go back through these cans, and the items that are, I'll say, within 12 months of their best buy date, I will add them to. These little items here, just from here forward, fall into that category. I'd already started. I'm going to pull the things that are 12 months or less out of date, put them in a special spot, probably right here in this empty spot, so that if we need something, we'll come and potentially pull from that, open it. If everything seems all right, we're going to move on. But the rest of this stuff goes back, I mean, some of it goes back to like 2014. There's one can in there that's from 2010. And again, hang tight, and I'm going to explain something to you. All right, and just to explain what I have done here, everything now is rotated, and again, kind of ignore this pile right here for the moment. But everything is rotated, faced, fronted, aisles for everything. So, for example, all these red sauces, you're always going to pull left to right, top to bottom, front to back. Okay? In this case, they're not stacked, so left to right, front to back. So this one first is the oldest at Best Buy August 26th of 2021. And you go back here, and there is the newest, and I forget the date on it. Same thing with the Alfredo sauces. This is a couple of little, this is kind of a hodgepodge, because this was like one-off items. There's some tiki marsala sauce and some verde sauce, some sauerkraut, and that's all we had of that. So I just stuck it in there. Our tomato products, which we need to add some more to, but same thing, front to back, top to bottom, so on and so forth. Here's where you can really tell it. For example, corn. All right, this is the oldest. The very back and the bottom is the newest. So, you know, top to bottom, front to back. So you pull, 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 so on. And, you know, everything's lined. So corn, peas, mushrooms, fruit cocktail, not in any particular order too, by the way. Chili beans, mixed veggies, whole potatoes, corned beef hash, chili. Same thing down here with various beans and whatnot. And same thing here with canned meats. You know, top to bottom, front to right, front to back, left to right. The only thing that looks like where I really have to employ the left to right is this stuff here, because there was enough of this where I couldn't. Everything else I got in one neat row. But it does show, you know, a big hole that needs to be filled in our stocks. So, what do I propose we do with this? All right, so in an after SHTF, I can't talk. In an after an SHTF situation, in a situation where, you know, the whole reason we prep and do these things is for natural disasters, man-made disasters, you know the drill. Disasters of any kind, where you can't go and get food, or you're, for whatever reason, you're forcibly held up. You get the drill. You know what I'm trying to say. If you have to rely on your food stocks. So if you're having to do that, chances are people around you are having to do that. And as many of you know, many of us know, very few people, or I don't know if I'll say very few, but not everyone stocks and prepares in the way that I do and y'all do, and so on and so forth. Now, what I just showed y'all was canned stuff. We've got the 25-year shelf long-term stuff put up. We've got dry beans and rice put up, pastas, flour, sugar, salt, blah, 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 blah. All that stuff put up. That is for another day. That stuff typically, if stored properly, can kind of go longer anyway, but it's the cans that I wanted to focus on today. So anyway, that being said, for the folks that are unprepared, and when they do come like zombies, coming up, wanting something, I got a pile of expired stuff in there that if I toss a can or two and tell them to get, hit the bricks, they're going to be happy and roll. They may discover later that it's expired, and they may not care, at that point, So the way I look at it, a good thing to do with those things is not to throw it away, but to store it separately and have it for the gimmies. Have it for the stuff to leave or to give for those who may want, who are strangers, who you don't know. I'm not saying, you give it to your good neighbor or you give it to your mom or anybody like that if they're hungry. No, feed them the stuff that you know that you would eat too. But if you had to come off of some of it for whatever reason, or maybe even a trade, a barter situation, there is something to work with. That is my idea. I think it's a pretty good one. Not that I have a whole lot to work with, but it is a big hole. It did create a big hole. That right there represents, I don't know, I'm looking at it from here. If done right, that's a solid month, if not 6 weeks worth of food for me and my family, just in those cans. So that is a month to 6 weeks that I need to put back in my coffers. But anyway, just wanted to share this process with you and kind of give you my take on what I think would be a good idea to do with some of these things that you would purge that are expired or past date or whatever, have extended beyond what you consider useful. They may still serve a purpose and be useful in another situation, such as I've described. Thank you so much for joining the Real World Prepper. I will see you again soon. We got more projects on this week off vacation, and we're going to do some camping. I'll probably share some of that experience with you guys as the week goes on. Thanks so much again for watching. See you next time.